You all here, it's a sign that we're a couple days away from some excitement across the country with college basketball season beginning. I want to give, obviously, credit to Desiree Reed-Francois and her leadership, President Moon Choi, also our board of curators. Shout out to our fall sports, specifically football, doing a tremendous job. Eli Drinkowicz and his entire staff and those young men are giving their very best, and it's a beautiful sight to see. The one thing that I look at in this year coming up for us and our program is pretty simple. We had an opportunity to grow. We had a lot of new faces last season, and last season taught us as coaches that we can't take days for granted. We got to make sure we continue to build a team together and continue to live in a way that allows our guys to learn. I thought last year was a result in our fan support. Our fan support allowed this team to grow, and it presented a nest, a nurturing spot, a nurturing position for our team to recover from the mistakes of tough games with the consistency they saw fans continue to be there for them. Our student section was tremendous, but the sacrifice goes, sometimes unnoticed for our fans who sacrifice out of their week to make it here on a weekday, but also the weekends. They set aside time in their personal and busy schedules to make time for us and allow us to have a home court advantage. That same opportunity is going to present itself. I want to thank the fans that have already signed up for season tickets, the new ones, but also those that are returning. It's an unbelievable atmosphere. And again, my number one goal as a coach is to create an environment conducive for our young men to grow. But also personally, I want to be a Hall of Fame coach. I want to be able to cut down nets, hold up trophies, and raise some banners. And, being able to do that, raising an NCAA banner is important as we continue to grow. We're in the infant stages of a program. I truly believe we have some ways to go, but, it's a great way to begin, and I don't want to oversell or overlook how difficult it is, not only last year, but this upcoming season. Our scheduling is entirely different than it was last year. Last year we had a slow build up into competition. This year I want to throw our guys into a high level of competition. Our first game is not a game that we can overlook. Our second game is not a game that we can overlook. Our entire schedule is built a certain way to kind of have an ebbs and flow sort of response, and I truly believe it'll help us in the long run, but it is not an easy schedule, no doubt.
What kind of a personality do you already see developing with this team?
I see our 8 core values forming. Our 8 core values of friendship, love, accountability, trust, discipline, unselfishness, enthusiasm, and toughness is forming. It's not where it needs to be, but slowly but surely I see a team that loves to play with each other. They love to work and get each other better. They're a very competitive group, and I truly believe it's for the betterment of our program moving forward. It's a long season. They're falling in love with the process, and that's what we need them to do, fall in love with the process and not look at other things that can distract us.
All that support you were talking about a year ago, a lot of people bought in based on potential and a new beginning. I'm curious whether it's booster clubs on the recruiting trail, what's the difference in the level of buzz and reception you've seen this year versus 12 months ago?
Well, it just speaks about our tradition. Buzz is not something that just comes about. I think it comes with the expectation that our stakeholders, that our fans, our alumni, those that are 2-3 generations apart, it comes with the territory. I think this is an unbelievable basketball program when you look at the history, the tradition, the coaches, you look at the former players, you look at the state of where we are now. It's a healthy program traditionally, and it's going to continue to get better. And that's what we want to do. We want to continue to move in a positive direction.
Coach, when we talked about expectations with the players, they all said that they wanted to take it one day at a time, one game at a time, but they also mentioned Phoenix quite a bit.
Yeah.
Can you speak to that ultimate goal and what you expect from this team this season?
Well, April 6th, April 8th, Phoenix is always, a destination. That's where the national championship Final Four is held. If you don't shoot for that, you're not training, you're not practicing, you're not preparing yourself for the opportunity that's presented. It's a difficult task that I'm asking. I don't want to ask these guys at the last second. I want them to understand everything that we put into our day, into our craft, it is for something. And that something is happening in April, and it's a place that Missouri men's basketball hadn't been.
How do you see Noah, Nick, and Sean kind of communicating that ultimate goal and that message to these newer guys?
They're doing a great job with their leadership. Now, my only caveat is this. These guys need to talk more. They need to continue to challenge each other in a healthy way, because ultimately I think it's asking to get outside of their personalities. Nick honor Sean East. I don't see a more experienced and talented duo of point guard in any program, okay? The other part of it is you look at a Noah Carter who averaged close to 17 points a game at Northern Iowa. His usage was down because of, obviously, Kobe Brown, and he patiently waited. So now I'm going to have a different expectation for Noah Carter to go out, perform the best that he can, but also make plays for other guys. It's not just from those guys. Mabor Jacques played for us at Cleveland. He's able to message the way that I want messaging to take place. Caleb Brown, he's an experienced guy he's the longest tenured University of Missouri student athlete in our program. He has to use that experience and continue to guide our guys, and he's doing a tremendous job. Caleb Brown is the most improved player that we've had all summer. And I look for him to make some strides and continue to do those things in a consistent way. So obviously, when we look at the returners, I look at our captains, Nick Honor, Sean East, Mabor Jacques, and Noah Carter to be able to lead us in a way that's representative.
So many of the newcomers, though, they're experienced college basketball players. And how do you see their experience come out every day?
Well, this is still a new environment for them. I truly think that we are people who move forward through adversity because of our experiences and the things that we have gone through. So when you look at Tamar Bates, he played in the Big Ten at Indiana. There shouldn't be a crowd that impacts him in a negative way. He should be able to play in any environment that we are presenting. That should be leading into the leadership that he displays with our guys. Caleb Grill the same way. He's played in an unbelievable program. These guys have been coached. So now they're going to be expected not to just use their experiences, but how can their experiences impact every individual and this team? How can they share that in a communicative way, but also in a way that's positive? Because no matter what has taken place, you look at the path has some adversity. So how can we be forged through the fire and gain some strength through our adversity?
Dennis, you've got guys from all walks of life and all different situations, and to a man, each of them will talk about how you relate to them.
Yeah.
I wonder if you could expound on how you're able to do that, and what enabled you to do that.
Well, my thing is this. It's personal for me. I'm not, I've been blessed to be in a leadership role as the Witten family head men's basketball coach. I believe my path is far beyond what you may think. I want to be invited to these guys' weddings. I want them to call me when transition in life takes place, when their back is against the wall, when they're seeking some advice. I want them to take our 8 core values and somehow teach another generation, or even use that and apply it for their children, their lifestyle, their family life, and things like that. So my charge is this. I want my players to look at me how I admire my head coaches in my life. From George Friel, Prairie Hills Junior High School, my first coach, Larry Butler, Illinois Warriors, my first AAU team, George Stanton, my high school coach, Ben Braun, all right, my college coach, but also the assistants that also played a role. I want my guys to look at me and our staff the same way I still stay in contact with the coaches in my life. They saved my life. They gave me some confidence that I didn't have as a youngster. They allowed me to understand the true challenges of life, but not only challenges, identifying them and getting through them, but also how to grow as an individual, how to grow as a man, and also to be able to now be a husband, a father, and the Witten family head men's basketball coach at the University of Missouri. So I want these guys to be able to have an impactful life. I want them to be able to provide for their family when it comes down to life after basketball, and that's what we will always concentrate on.
It's probably hard to summarize the way you do that, but I wonder if you could speak to how you convey this to them, that they are valued and that they can trust you, because there seems to be, again, the common language that they speak.
Well, I make sure it's transformational, not transactional. I tell them I love them, and sometimes it makes them uncomfortable. But I don't care how uncomfortable they get. I'm going to hug them, but not only hug them, I'm going to hold them while I'm hugging them. Not only because of that, I let them know I may need a hug today. It's not just about them. I want them to be empowered to understand that I have feelings, they have feelings, and their impact on me is just as great as my impact is on them. I want them to be able to get out and impact a room, the first room that they walk into to interview. I want them to be able to impact that. I can only do that by showing them a way and hopefully being able to give them the confidence to do it. Not only that, I talk to them about life. I talk to them about different obstacles. I talk to them about, just their individual feelings. But I also challenge them to get better at whatever challenges they have.
And just last thing from me on this is just you seem to be able to do that when you're in their living room the first time. I wonder if you could
Recruiting, that's what
elaborate
you're
on
talking
that.
about, huh?
Yeah, I mean,
You want to hear about recruiting a little bit?
the secret sauce?
I think of this. I come in an authentic way. I don't try to, be a used car salesman or anything like that. I give full transparency into who I am as a person. I don't talk about basketball. I don't talk about the certain things. I tell them the reasons why me and my family chose the city of Columbia, why we chose to be Tigers, why we chose to partner with Desiree Reed-Francois, President Moon Choi, and the Board of Curators, but also how we chose to partner with the challenges that's out there regarding our basketball program. We chose to partner not only with that, but with the past coaches and the past players. And when you partner with someone, you have to build a relationship, and that's what we've been doing since day one. So I want them to understand that it's not transactional, it's transformational, and they're not just going to be a guy with a number. They're going to be a person who is going to be in my family circle and me in their family circle as well.
Dennis, you mentioned your staff, and we know CY had some other opportunities. I'm sure some of the other guys did. How important is it that you've kept not just those three assistants, but most of your support staff here for year two?
Retention is very important. Retention is an important thing in growth in any organization, but also development, right? Professional development, different things like that. What I'm proud about is our staff, how they attacked professional development this summer, how they were able to get into different careers or talk to different leaders, business, non-sports related, different topics and different subject matters, and really get better. And now I could see in the summer that growth. I can see in the fall that growth. I can see in our performance and practice, their organization, that growth. Everyone has an individual plan, an individual goal. Our players have individual plans and individual goals. Those plans don't happen without the team dynamic of getting better, but also trying to win the day, trying to be excellent. It doesn't happen without the transition of these guys being able to pick each other apart in a challenging but also a healthy way. We endorse challenging each other as coaches. That's the only way we can cover each other's blind spot. I am not immune from that challenging. I want my staff to challenge me, but I also believe having a Dr. Joe Carr, our sports psychologist, making sure that we're in a healthy environment, we're cultivating it, having Desiree Reed-Francois involved, Greg Hewlin involved, President Moon Choi involved. They get to see it from a 30,000-foot view, but these leaders we have on campus, they are quick to roll their sleeves up and want to be right there in the foxhole with us, and I appreciate that. They show up to practice, they challenge, no matter what it is, they are going to challenge in a healthy way our continued success and our continued growth, and I appreciate that about that environment.
Kind of the NCAA expanding the coaching staff limits. What's that been like for your program, kind of adjusting to that?
Well, what's beautiful is this. It's a response from COVID, because during COVID you had coaches having to get into sort of a sit-out mode, and then others, you had to have multiple waivers taking place. So at Cleveland State, we were able to use those waivers by moving parts, separating guys, having workouts, but making sure everybody stay healthy and follow the standards. That is a response to that. It was something that needed to happen, and I'm glad COVID allowed us to keep it, in a present form. And now Ryan Shawball, Matt Klein, our defense and offensive coordinator, can have a more in-depth approach in their teaching on the court, but also in games. That is where you have to understand That's going to impact in-game performance and practice, where I can travel more and be able to have these guys on the court. And I think our recruiting class is a result of that. Our guys being able to do their thing in practice, me being absent and being recruiting in the homes of the people that we are able to recognize as Missouri guys, and it's helped. It's helped a tremendous bit, and I'm excited not only about that change, but also the other changes. We need to expand the NCAA tournament. It needs to expand. Put me on the record. It has to expand. The business model causes for it to expand, and hopefully it continue to expand, no different than it has since its very beginning. If you look at the path, it has expanded. The NCAA has historically expanded. As media and TV has grown, the NCAA tournament has as well.
Speaking of expansion, you've got 18 guys on your roster right now. Just what are some of the benefits and drawbacks to that?
Well, I need about 5 more spots, so I'm looking to expand even more. I think it's a healthy thing. It's all I know. It's our model from Florida State. We had an unbelievable walk-on program. When you look at J.V. Brown, when you look at Jackson Francois, when you look at Danny Stevens, those guys are some unreal walk-ons for our program in a long-term fix, but also short-term what they provide. So I'm excited about our walk-on program. I'm excited about having, you said 18? I need 22, 23 guys on my roster, but having 18 guys is great. We had 18, 19 at Florida State. I had 18, 19 at Cleveland State. So this is normal for me.
When you look at the new faces that were able to come in, how do you see them trying to build that unity before the season starts, with all these new faces?
How much time you guys got to go through every name, right? I think that's important to understand, but the new faces is one thing, the returners is another. So Aiden Shaw, I don't expect him to be the Aiden Shaw last year. So that's going to be a new face for me. If I don't see the new face, I'm not going to play him. It's that simple, right? The other thing is having these guys grow individually, making sure they achieve their goals. I want Sean East to be a different Sean East than he was last year. I want Nick Honor to be a different Nick Honor. Noah Carter to be a different Noah Carter. Mabor Majak, who was able to win some games for us against Mississippi State, but also Tennessee, I want him to grow in a different role. And that growth with our retention is important. The newcomers are going to jump on that bandwagon. They're going to stand on those shoulders looking for leadership. I want Caleb Brown to continue to grow. Again, he's been the most improved guy in our program. But when you look at John Tonje, comes from a great program. When you look up Caleb Grill, Tamar Bates, Connor Vanover, who else am I missing? Help me out. Who else? Grill, Kurt Lewis. Who else? Zeus. Who else?
All the freshmen.
All the freshmen. See, you guys are helping me keep on track with this. Now, what I do want is our fans to make sure they get to know these guys, because they are a special group of people, a special group of young men who are really, really consistent in trying to give their very best. They're appeasers. They're trying to do everything that I've asked. I'm excited about our GPA right now. Our GPA right now is like, I hadn't seen a B on our grade reports. That means I've seen all A's, not C's and everything, right? But I'm just excited with what they're providing each other and how the synergy, the Jamaica trip allowed us to galvanize a little bit. Strangers get to know each other, but also having our sports psychologists there, our psychology department here, also helping in that cultivation of team building.
You mentioned Caleb Brown a couple times. What do you feel like specifically he's grown with?
Self-awareness is a beautiful thing. When you have a young man go through something, he put his name in the portal. That needed to happen for him. It needed to happen because I hadn't seen the person from last year yet. I've seen a new person on and off the court. And sometimes when you look at a kid that has gone through COVID, the COVID year as a senior, but also the COVID return as a freshman, it's a different environment, and that's what he went through. Sophomore year, he had a coaching change. Those are 3 events that can cause a kid to kind of, okay, let me try to figure out and get settled. What I look at now is how much better he's performing consistently off the court in everything, how vocal he's getting, how communicative he's getting. He's growing as a young man. And that's what I expect, and I'm excited about what he provides.
Connor Vanover's kind of that first generation.
Who is that? Oh, okay.
He's the big guy. He's kind of that first generation of big guys
Yeah.
who are expected to shoot.
Yeah.
How has the game kind of developed coaching for 7-footers and,
Yeah.
and to
If he-
step outside?
If he don't shoot threes, I'm gonna take him out the game. Is that simple? So I don't want anyone out there saying when Connor Vanover shoots a three, oh, get in the post, get in the post. No, we want him to shoot, because guess what? Contesting a Connor Vanover, he doesn't see the contest. He doesn't. So that's an uncontested jump shot from a guy who shot close to 40%. He is a great player, and I truly believe this system and fits him well. And it's the expectation of what a post guy looks like. It is growing. This is a growing position. No longer are they expected to run right down the lane. I think our inconvenience of playing a certain way with Kobe, it probably caught a lot of guys, a lot of you guys, ladies, off guard. But it's the way to play. We want to create possessions. We want to play fast. We want to be able to shoot the ball. I want them to have confidence. Confidence is the single most important thing you can inject in the spirit of a young person to make them believe in themselves. And it was done for me. My college, high school, AAU coaches all told me, you're going to be a head coach. I didn't believe them, but here I am.
Coach, how does the system fill a Kobe Brown-sized hole?
It was by committee. I think having Kobe Brown amongst the SEC looked at him and identified Kobe Brown as a first-team all-conference guy, which he was. There's no doubt. I thought he was the most impactful for his team than anybody in our conference, probably in the country. But so was a Demoy Hodge. So was Nick Honor. So was Noah Carter. We have pieces to the puzzle. And having pieces of a puzzle allows you to play in different ways, but also have 7 guys last season score over 20 points, right? Most rosters don't have the opportunity to have 7 different guys score over 20 points. When you have that versatility, it causes a problem with scouting, with in-game adjustments. It causes matchup issues, but also it concerns other crowds or other staffs or other players that our depth is a crucial part of our strength. What I want to continue to do is grow in our depth. It does not matter how many minutes our guys play, it's what they do in those minutes. That's the mentality I want. I want the epitome of unselfishness, which is one of our core values, to stand out in that form. Player efficiency rating is more important than anything. Player efficiency rating is important. And I want guys to be able to have a high player efficiency rating, have the aptitude to understand we want to do 3 things. We want to lead the country in 3-point attempts, 3-point shots made, but also 3-point percentage. We want to be able to shoot over a certain amount from the free throw line. We want to be tops in the country with that. Defensively, we want to be able to provide some depth with our last year with steals. I don't know what that category will be, or turnover percentage. I don't know what it will be this year, but I want to have an in-depth defensive presence somewhere on our stat sheet. Last but not least, having a positive assist to turnover ratio are the 4 things that I'm looking for this year for our team to continue to hold dear to their heart, execute every single game no matter the adversity, but also just do it with confidence and have fun doing it with an unbelievable crowd, which we have here at Mizzou.
All right, thanks, Coach.
MIZ.